Today we're going to be talking about feng shui and how we can use this ancient art to improve the energy of our home, thereby improving our own personal level of energy. Our energy of our environment is one of the most important factors determining our own level of energy. And whether we're aware of it or not, our own level of energy is always being either uplifted or drained by the energy of our home. But my guest today, Laura David, is going to show us ways we can enhance that energy to bring about positive changes in our lives, such as more prosperity and better health. Laura, welcome to the show.
Hi, Alexandra. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So you're going to tell us how we can improve our living situations and our personal situations just by fixing up our homes. And I know you brought a bagua with you.
Yes, I did.
So maybe we can show this and you can tell us a little bit about how that all works.
With feng shui, what we do is use your floor plan in your home to the ancient bagua that the Chinese have developed. And what it is different areas within your home that work with your life. And what we do is we work with career, knowledge, ancestry, wealth, fame, relationship, creation, and mentors. In the center is qi, and that determines your health. And so we use the bagua on the floor plan when I come to the house, and we figure out, what exactly it is that you need for energy, and we work from there.
Well, what's one of the most important considerations when you just want to improve your overall life situation? Say you don't want to target particularly wealth or specifically fame. If you just want an overall enhancement, what's the first thing you tell people to do, or the first thing you look for?
The first thing to do is declutter, to remove negative energies from certain areas that just hangs around. So
basically cleaning out the closets,
cleaning, declutter, organization, and then using each bagua for the different elements and numbers and colors that there are in the bagua in each area.
So I know that like the front door is one of the most important areas of the house.
Absolutely.
Right.
Your energy enters through your front door.
Yeah, and anyone coming to the home, they would sort of base their opinions.
Yes.
Also, as well, they're influenced by that energy, and that would affect them. So you would look at, say, the condition of the door. Does it need a paint job? Is it
curb appeal?
Yeah, like as in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
you'd want it to be very attractive and appealing to the eye, and not walking into a bunch of boots and mitts and stuff everywhere, all cluttered.
Yeah.
So, and cleanliness is really important too, because I know that dirt tends to attract negative qi, negative energy, and it tends to, I don't know, it increases.
Yes, it does.
You put one thing somewhere and all of a sudden there's a bunch of stuff there, and I know energy kind of works that way, so that's really good that you mentioned that right away about decluttering and just removing all that. What else do you look for?
Well, when I enter a home, what I do is figure the path that the energy flows, whether it goes like down the hall and what direction it goes into, where it gets stagnant in the corners, that type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Whether your furniture is in the way when you enter a room, whether you've got points that are pointing towards you as you sit in your chair. There's many different elements that we look for.
So what are some of the first things you do, though? Or what if somebody who's sitting at home watching today and goes, okay, well, yeah, I could use a little more fame in my life, or I could stand to be a little more healthy. What do most people, should they start with? Well, you mentioned decluttering. Well, what about all those corners that we don't think about, like under the stairwell or storage areas where you're kind of out of sight, out of mind? But that's still affecting us on a deep level, isn't it?
Absolutely. So you organize, add some lighting, maybe do some paint, put some brighter colors in there, maybe throw a plant, maybe even a plastic plant, but throw a plant in there for a little extra life. So,
and just get rid of the junk and realize that maybe even though we tend to be pack rats, a lot of us, and store this stuff, just you got to put it somewhere, and then it just kind of gets forgotten about. And I know when you do get in there and clean it, you do feel a difference right away. Your energy is immediately affected by these changes.
It changes the levels of it, yes.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. So that enhances your overall energy levels. Even just, getting rid of cobwebs and stuff like that in these remote parts of the houses or your garage even. Because the garage attached, we tend to not think of it as our home, but it really is in terms of feng shui, isn't it?
If it's on your floor plan, it depends on your roof style, how it's connected to your house, that type
really?
of thing. So if it's within the bagua, then it definitely makes a difference.
And it's interesting because when you talk about this floor plan, and we did sort of go through my house a little bit, and you said that it's the same on the second level
As the
as
first.
the first. So even if that back room somewhere, if it happens to be in, say, your wealth gua, even the back room that you might not ever be thinking about is part of your wealth gua too. So if it's all cluttered and kind of where you're storing stuff that really should maybe make a trip to the dump or something, or to or be given away to someone who can use it properly.
The energy
that's still
carries,
affecting that. Yeah.
Yes, the energy carries from the foundation right through to the roof
Yeah, which is
on all the different floors.
really interesting. With Feng Shui, there's so many interesting ways to change that energy. Even just using candles and crystals is a really common one that I've come across. And what are your feelings on that?
Well, crystals bring in positive energy. Candles are the fire element. Another element to bring in would be wood, metal, earth. All the elements are placed in certain areas.
I see you have that on your
Each
background.
bagua has its own element, its own color, its own number. It has a body part, which a lot of people don't know. So it's quite in-depth.
Well, let's focus on, I know when you're doing the floor plan, it always starts with the career, right? It's right at the front door.
Right at the front door.
And that would be, and if you're doing room by room, you would put this, face it with whatever door you're at. You'd be always starting sort of at the career.
Yes, you can do that.
So why don't we start with that?
Okay. Well, what you do actually is throughout the floor plan, you place the 9 areas, but each room can have its own 9 areas. So you can actually put like multiple levels of career throughout your home if that's what you're looking to increase. So career, for instance, would be the color of water, blue, blacks, whites, that type of thing. With a wavy line is something that brings career in. The number for it is 1.
Or an actual, say, a fountain or something?
A fountain would absolutely bring in water elements. You can have a picture of water, a pathway, because your career always follows a path. And the body part for career is ear, because you hear of a job,
Oh, really?
that type of thing. So it's quite in-depth. That's how career works.
To stimulate that, you might want to have something like chimes, like wind chimes or something to stimulate the sound.
The sound of the sound of water is nice at the door. Yes. The number 1.
So how would you incorporate, have a singular, like a single item, or?
Yes.
Okay, so you wouldn't have to actually. So there's really some very interesting ways you can. Okay, what about something like wealth? Let's go to that, because people are always, especially this time of year, right after Christmas, looking for ways to increase wealth. So
the first thing that comes to mind with wealth is, I've lost it, is the hip is the body part for wealth.
Really?
And I think maybe because that's where you hold your money. But,
that's interesting.
But wealth has the element of wood. And in the wealth corner, it's a good idea to put trees. Tree grows up, it becomes abundant, it continually grows. It's the number 4 that does that. It's also generated by wind. So you were mentioning wind chimes, and that's a very good thing to put in the wealth corner. You would also put your collectibles, like rare coins or stuff that you have that is fairly expensive, maybe things that you would pass down along, from your family, that type of thing. So.
And is that just to be like a reminder to yourself on a subliminal level, do you think, or how does that?
Well, it works in that way. Now, what we do is if we take, say you have a very nice lamp and you want to turn the lamp on, so that brings energy into that corner, so it lightens it up. You put the lamp there with intention that this is going to bring in positive chi into the wealth and help it grow. So each place, everything that you place within any of the areas of the bagua is placed with intention that that energy will come to you.
And you just affirm that a few times to yourself, or?
Yes, and actually when you look at it sitting over there, that affirms it for you too.
So I've even read some about like ringing chimes.
Yes.
If you happen to have chimes in your wealth or your career area, as a constant sort of affirmation to yourself.
And it also breaks up the negative chi, the sound. The vibrations of it breaks it up, so that helps too.
And what about for health? That's
health is in the center of your home.
So for most people, that would probably be around the kitchen area.
Not necessarily. Sometimes it's
it
hallways
depends on the
and
floor plan.
doorways and stuff like that. The main thing about health in the center is to have it open so that the flow can flow all through your house, and it doesn't become stagnant, because when you start getting stagnant and stuff, then you will actually find that your health is diminishing.
So I'm sure you incorporate this all into your personal life.
Absolutely.
And do you find that, does this ring true for you? Do you find a real change when?
Well, I started doing feng shui about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was with the intention that I would eventually move to the cottage, and that was supposed to be, in 10 years from that point, and we're already here. So, I no sooner got my place done and we were packing. So it definitely works for me. Another thing was creation. My daughter was trying to get pregnant, and I beefed up the children and creativity area, and lo and behold, we now have 2 granddaughters. She had twins last January. So it's just where you place your energy and what you're looking for. That's what you use feng shui for.
That's great. So even just basic things like washing windows and stuff, even if you don't see the dirt, it still is attracting like a negative chi.
Yes, and it actually opens it up so that the positive chi does come in.
Yeah, lets in more sunshine and more good energy and everything that's there.
And sometimes you have to be careful, like if you have very large windows and they're really wide open and stuff, you have to be careful that too much energy isn't coming in, so there has to be a balance there.
Well, let's say there was, and short of, doing serious home renovations, what ways could you, say you have a big window and it's opposite your door or something, like I've read about other little cures, like putting a plant there, putting, crystals.
Well, yes,
Any
you
thoughts?
can put, your window treatment would certainly make a difference, because you could, kind of fill it in with your curtains, put a couple of plants in front of it, hang some sun catchers in there helps, So there's different ways to work with the windows. You don't want to be able to see from your front door right through to your back garden. You want some sort of barrier in there, so if you have to put a tree or a pillar or something there to break the energy, so it's not, because your energy will come in your front door and go right on out through your back window, and then you've lost it. So pulling it in doesn't really help if it just goes right back out.
So you want to deflect it a little bit. Hi, we're back. We're talking with Laura David about feng shui and how we can improve our home's energy and our own energy by just making some changes around the house. And as I said before, we can think of our home actually as a second body because it affects our own chi that much. And so what about our bedroom where we spend so much of our time sleeping? That's got to play an important role in this as well.
You have to be revitalized when you sleep, and you have to get proper rest. Now, one of the things that actually drains you of your energy in your bedroom is your mirrors. If your mirrors are facing the bed, then you're having a reflection on you all the time, and it's not a restful sleep, because it's continually pulling your energy and reflecting your energy back and forth, so that you're not having a wind down time. So mirrors are very important in the bedroom. The position of the bed is very important. You don't want your bed in front of the doorway, preferably not under the window also. You don't want your feet to be facing towards the door, because that's like the death position. So not very good, no.
So with mirrors, what if it's like on a high dresser and your bed is lower? It's not exactly, like you can't see it maybe from
As long as you don't see yourself in the mirror.
I see.
You see, because then you're reflecting and reflecting back and forth all night long, so you're not getting your proper sleep.
So if you did have that kind of situation, I guess you could just drape a sheet or something over it.
Absolutely.
One way to get around it. Where is a good place to place a mirror then? Someplace more auspicious? Maybe the head of the bed, or?
I wouldn't
Foot
say
of
at the
bed?
head of the bed because it also reflects onto the bed.
Mm.
So off to the corner, like down by your feet and off to the corner so that it's angled away from you,
Uh-huh.
that type of thing.
Okay, and bathrooms are very important in Feng Shui as well. I know that they like to keep bathroom doors closed for the energy drain
Yes.
situation.
When you have drains in your bathroom, the energy goes into the washroom and actually spins down and goes down the drains. So it's a good idea to keep your toilet seats down, your plugs in your sink, if you can't keep your door closed, most of the time. Yeah.
That's a good idea. And I guess any problems with plumbing should be looked at because that's sort of symbolic of our money going down the drain as well.
Yes, and also your bodily functions and wiring too. If you have exposed wiring all over your house, that actually affects your nervous system. So it's a good idea to tuck them away and cover them over so you're not seeing them. And it gives you the impression that it's cluttery too when you've got, your wiring
Yeah,
hanging
it's more
all over.
aesthetically pleasing to not have it. And that's the nice thing about it. As you go through and sort of do some Feng Shui changes, probably people would need, at the bare minimum, they would need a good book. Or your services, you would come and go right through their home with them and help them
Absolutely.
determine what changes to make.
Mm-hmm.
And what's some of the more unusual cures you've done? There's some of the more unusual situations, something must really stand out. Or the one where they noticed it the most different.
I think color.
Oh, yeah?
I think color is absolutely
Well, color
one of the
is
most
huge.
important things. It works on your psyche, and every color has a different feel to it.
Yeah?
And each room has a different function within your home. So I think if you can match your color to your home, to your room, what you want it to do, then you're going to get the best energy out of your room.
So again, like say for a kitchen, a good color for a kitchen might be...
Well, the Chinese use red because it stimulates appetite. It's very good for conversation and relaxation and that type of thing. So red is a color that can be incorporated. Not that I'm saying your whole kitchen should be painted red,
Yeah, it's not a
but
color most people want to be around very long because it can also make you have feelings of anger and
absolutely.
other, yeah.
So it depends on what's in there. It depends on the element that you're working with. Like if your kitchen is in your fame area, putting a lot of red in there is a good idea, but then you don't want to go too overboard because then you've got an imbalance and there could actually be problems with maybe having a fire in your kitchen because the fame area is the element of fire, so you don't want too much fire in your kitchen causing a problem. So there has to be a balance with each and every gua in the bagua.
So you really have to go through the house with the bagua just to get a sense of which area is which, rather than we can't just generalize what color for, because it could be depending on the floor plan
Yes.
of the individual.
Now, if you're looking for like a quiet room, somewhere to go and read and relax and just sort of take the day's energy from your work away, then a soft green is a nice area for like a family room or something like that.
And if you happen to have an aquarium, if you have tropical fish or even goldfish, that's good in the wealth area.
Mm-hmm. Or career.
And with Feng Shui tradition, they even have, I believe, but with goldfish and having a certain number of goldfish and maybe one black one or something. I'm trying to recall from
That actually is the yin and the yang.
Mm-hmm.
The yang being the orange goldfish and the yin being the black. So if you have a lot of yin, you should add just a little bit of yang. If you have a lot of yang, you should add just a little bit of yin.
I don't know how the average viewer is going to know if they got a lot of yin or if they have a lot of yang, but they can contact you to come out, and if they have so really any problem in any of these areas can benefit from Feng Shui.
Yes.
You have a relationship problem with children or spouse, whatever could be looked at. What else have we got here? Creation, and you said you used that in terms of for creating, for your daughter wanting to procreate. How about the ancestry department?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind there is the body function of feet.
If you had a look at this on the camera.
It starts with your feet because that's your grounding. That's where you originally start from. Let's see, it's wood, and it's a good idea to keep like your Bibles there, pictures of your grandparents, that type of thing. Because they bring your stability, you know, the energy of stability with them. So.
I see we did have another chart today. Did you want to just talk about that a little bit? A personal chi. I'll just, if I can grab that. So this is a different chart looking at how our own chi relates right from our body to the bed, bedroom, house, yard.
Out to the neighborhood. All of the different areas here affect your personal self, whether you realize it or not. The bed, the size of the bed, the position of the bed, even what the bed is made out of can actually make a difference in how you feel. So you go on out and your house, the color of your house, the size of your house, where it's positioned, whether it faces east or north or that type of thing makes a difference. Your yard and how clean and decluttered it is makes a difference. All of your neighborhood. If you live in a yin neighborhood, then...
What would that be? What would a yin neighborhood be?
What would a yin neighborhood? Something that, is a little run down and, the neighbors aren't really putting their stuff away, or, your neighbor across the way needs his roof repaired or that type of a thing. When you drive through a yin neighborhood, you pretty much know. So, your neighborhood, whether there's flowers out there and the streets are all nice and the signs are nice, then that would be a yang neighborhood. So all of these different areas affect your personal chi.
Wow. So in the house, the most important area would be the bedroom. So that might be a good place where our viewers might want to start. And just start by even, like you wouldn't want things stored under your bed, in feng shui, or, don't want dirty laundry in the closet kind of thing, because you might not see it, but it's still there, it's still affecting you. So that's probably a really good place if people want to start to feel some of the benefits of feng shui, is just give your bedroom a really good cleaning and fresh sheets. And I guess pink is a good color for sheets to make you feel more uplifted and that sort of thing. So yeah, give it a good clean, polish those mirrors and vacuum and get rid of the clutter and see how much better you feel. And even your windows, and let a little more sunshine in and let a little more chi in. When you say anything, or any other words of advice just pertaining to that?
I would say people don't realize it, but when they go to work and they come home at the end of the day, they don't realize how much baggage they're carrying with them. The stuff that goes on with work, the stuff that they've dealt with their children the night before in the schools, and everything that goes on.
Hard to leave that all at the office.
It is, and they carry that all with them. So I think if you increase the energy within your home, it's going to help deflect those negative energies from hanging on, and then you can get a good night's rest and look forward to the next day.
And one of these, you can certainly carry these over to the office as well.
Absolutely.
Keeping a nice decluttered
desk and area and stuff like that, yes.
Yeah, and maybe a little crystal on your desk. Just to help them, or flowers.
Flowers really help.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your favorite color.
Yeah, that's what, well, I guess all living plants too, and as you said, with cures you can use plastic as well, or artificial flowers or plastic. But yeah, the real thing is always the best way to go, right?
For growth?
Yeah, yeah. And just about out of time, so just any final thoughts that you are available. You come to people's homes and you go through and give them a complete, feng shui treatment. And
well, usually I go in and and ask them what it is, why I'm there, And, we go...
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's right, that's right. Yes, you don't want to go overboard with it. But see why I'm there, and we go through the home, and they give me a floor plan, and we work from the bagua, and we work from there. Usually takes about 3 to 4 hours.
And then it's just a matter of them maintaining that and keeping the place decluttered
And actually,
that sort of
they don't do it just exactly overnight. It takes a little while to get it done, and you certainly don't want to stress over hurrying up and getting it done. But
yeah.
it's a continual thing, and once they get into it, they'll find that they're using it more and more, and spreading the word that you should try this.
It also makes housework go a little easier when you think about it as feng shui instead of just house cleaning, and you can think about how much better your whole family is going to feel just by doing some basic cleaning and then carrying on. And that's about it for today. So thanks.